In this lecture, I'll talk about the hardware that you need for this course. Now, all the hardware that you'll need, except for one item that I will mention in a moment, is found in the 3-in-1 IoT Smart Car Learning Kit for Arduino from SunFounder. The actual items that you need is just a subset of all the components that you'll find in this kit. And of course, many of them you may already have, or of course, all of them you'll be able to find separately, purchase separately on online and offline retailers such as eBay, Amazon, AliExpress, etc. You can always get these things from your favorite retailer. It's just that SunFounder makes it easy for us. Everything is in a single kit, in a single box. Many of the components we use in other experiments as well. For example, I've got another course where I show you how to build an Arduino powered car. We use components out of this kit as well. So it is convenient. All right, let's have a look in the kit. When you open the box, you'll find another box inside the box, which is where you'll find all the components except for the car chassis that looks like this and the two wheels that go with the car. In this course, we won't be using this particular set of components. I've got a different course where I'll show you how to build a Arduino powered car with various features and configurations. So I'm going to put this box with the car components aside and have a look at the plastic container with all the other bits and pieces in it. So when you flip this card over, you'll see the components that come with the kit. This is the packing list, and you'll see that pretty much everything that is important for a beginner's Arduino kit is in here. Resistors, capacitors, buttons, potentiometers, sensors, communications such as the ESP8266 module for Wi-Fi. There's a joystick here, ultrasonic sensor, and lots of other bits and pieces. We're not going to be using all of these items in this course, but as I said earlier, a subset of those items. But I just wanted to quickly show you what's in here so you can get a better understanding of the contents of the kit. And as I'm going through these contents, I will focus and I will mention out the items that you will need to use for this course in case you choose to purchase them from a different retailer, which is totally not a problem. You can still get everything you need out of this course with third-party components. All right, so at the very top, you'll see a servo motor. We're not going to be using that. A bunch of LEDs. We will be using a couple of those LEDs in a project. I'll be using at the very least a green and a red LED just to show statuses. Then I've got an infrared remote control. We don't need this for this project, but we are using it in the other course for the car project. Then there is a breadboard. So this is basically two mini breadboards put together. So it gives us an elongated breadboard, and we will be using this breadboard in this course. For most of the course, as I'm prototyping our circuit, I'll be using this breadboard, but I've got another section in this course that I've planned to record and deliver that shows you how to put the components and the circuit that we set up on the breadboard on a printed circuit board. At this point, I've got a few prototypes of this printed circuit board, and it looks like this. I've designed this as a shield that once you populate it, you'll be able to just plug it onto an Arduino Uno and then have everything that we assembled on the prototyping board on this PCB. I'll talk about this in the relevant section, so I'm going to put it aside for now. So the breadboard, we do need it, so I'll put it aside here. Then we've got a couple of other very important components, which are these two. So here there is a communications module. This is the ESP01S. It's a Wi-Fi module that contains the ESP8266 microcontroller on it. We're not going to be using this module as a microcontroller. We have the Arduino Uno for that, but we will be using it as a Wi-Fi module for communications with the Internet of Things platform. Now, because this module has a pin configuration that doesn't work with the breadboard, you can see it's 2x4 pins. The kit comes with an adapter. So with this adapter, once you plug the two components together, this adapter helps us use this Wi-Fi module with the breadboard like this. So now we've got a breadboard compatible configuration for the Wi-Fi module, and we can use it in our project and prototype the project on the breadboard. So that's another thing that comes with the kit. This kit comes actually with two of those modules, with two Wi-Fi modules. So we can have two projects going at the same time. Then we've got a sensor. This is the DHT11 sensor. This allows us to sense temperature and humidity, and we'll use it in this course. So put that aside on this side. And we've got some sensors. This one is an infrared line following sensor. We're not going to be using it. It's useful for the car. Here's another sensor here. This one is an ultrasonic distance sensor, not part of this project. We'll be using it for the car. And here we've got a few other things. We've got a potentiometer. We will be using this potentiometer in this course. This is a simple variable resistor device. So we'll use this potentiometer to calibrate the brightness of the LCD screen that will also be part of this course. Then we've got a couple of other small devices. There's two buzzers here. It's a passive and an active buzzer. We're not going to be using those in this course. Here is an infrared signal receiver, which works alongside the remote control. This is an infrared remote control. So these two work together. If you want to learn how to use them, you can check out the Arduino car course, where I'm using the same kit. So I'll put that aside. There's a hose here that's used with the pump. There is a water pump right here in the kit. So here's a water pump. These two work together. I'm not going to be using it in this course. A couple of screwdrivers. Those very useful tools. Now here's the LCD display that I was talking about earlier. In this course, we will be using an LCD display, but this one in particular comes with the I2C backpack, as opposed to this LCD screen, which is identical. However, it does not have the I2C backpack. What that means, I'm going to open up this packaging so you can see the actual hardware. And as you can see in this simpler device, there are multiple pins along this side of the device, which convey power and signals for the operation of the LCD. And there's quite a few. There are 16. The backpack that you see on this screen allow us to use just 4 pins to control the contents of the screen instead of the 16 pins. The problem, however, is that in my experiments, the Arduino Uno doesn't have enough memory to be able to accommodate the libraries and the sketch code that is required to work with this backpack. And in order to be able to use an LCD screen with our project, I decided to just go with the simpler configuration, which is using more wires, but less memory intensive code. And then we'll be able to use this screen instead of this. The problem is that the kit comes with the I2C backpack enhanced or improved LCD display and not with this one. So you're going to need to get a simple 16:2 LCD display without the I2C backpack so that we can use it with this course. You can get this from SunFounder or from any online or offline retailer. These are very easy to find. And in the course hardware page, I'll give you a few sources where you can find this screen so that you can add it to your kit. All right, so that goes there. And this one with the I2C backpack goes here. Then we've got the Arduino. The SunFounder kit comes with an Arduino Uno compatible board. We'll be using this board. You can put that here. In my recordings, I'm actually going to be using a genuine Arduino Uno, exactly the same kind of functionality, but I prefer to just use this one because it does have better overall build quality, and I just prefer it for my videos. But in your case, you can choose whichever Arduino Uno you may have available. You can even go for other Arduino Uno compatible devices, even up to an Arduino Mega 2860, for example. Those are also compatible with our project and with the code that we'll be using. Okay, continuing, there is a joystick. I'm not going to be using it in this course. There's a 9-volt clip. We will be using this because once we set up the project and up and running and it's operational, then we'll be able to untether it from the computer and we'll be able to power up our Arduino using the 9-volt battery and the 9-volt battery clip like this. So that goes on this side. Then we've got jumper wires. There's various types of jumper wires. In the kit, we've got various screws, nuts, bolts, and spacers that are required for the car assembly, which we're not going to be doing. It goes over this side. These are adhesive Velcro strips that we can use to attach things together. Very useful for the car, but not for our project. So I'll put it aside. Here's a motor controller. Again, used for the car. Put that aside. There are 2 DC motors for the car. Not going to be using it in this course. There is a 9-volt battery that is included, and I've already taped in the Velcro strip so that it sticks on the chassis of the car. We are going to be using this battery in our project. There's a wheel for the car that goes to the front of the car to provide some support. It's a trike kind of configuration for the car. There is a moisture sensor, soil moisture sensor. We're not going to be using that. It's assorted resistors. We are going to be using that. Let's see, got buttons, momentary buttons, and a couple of capacitors. We are not using these in this project. Then I've got 2 line following sensors. Again, those are parts for the smart car. They help the car follow a line, not part of this particular course. Put it aside. And then I've got, you can see there's other jumper wires left in here. And that's pretty much it. So to recap, out of everything that is in this kit, the bits that we will be using are the components that you see right here. We've got the Wi-Fi module with its adapter, sensor, the HT11, potentiometer that allows us to control the brightness of the LCD display. There is a simple LCD display, 16:2, which will be using it in so-called parallel mode. You'll learn more about this later. There is an Arduino Uno device, genuine or compatible. The kit comes with one of those. And we'll be using some of those resistors. And finally, we'll be using a couple of those LEDs.